Admiral Samantha Miller stood on the bridge of the flagship Defiance looking at the holographic display of the Vordax homeworld. The combined fleet of the new alliance had gathered for what might be the final battle of this brief, but galaxy-changing war. "All ships report ready, Admiral," reported Captain Lisa Reyes, who had joined the flagship for this critical mission. "The Centauri vessels are in position," added a communications officer. "The Pellerin stealth ships have begun their approach to the far side of the planet." Samantha nodded. "Begin the operation." The plan they had developed was bold. While the main fleet engaged the Vordax defenses head-on, specialized teams would infiltrate the surface to locate and disable the final protocol weapon. Leading one of those teams was Specialist Ryan Cooper, an expert in alien technology. His small ship approached the planet under the cover of the larger battle that had erupted in orbit. "Remember," Ryan told his mixed team of humans and allies, "we're looking for something ancient. The records suggest this weapon was built millennia ago, before the Council was even formed." Their ship landed in a remote area, far from the main Vordax cities. According to Dr. Mitchell's research, the weapon control center was hidden beneath an ancient temple. As they made their way toward the temple, Ryan saw the sky light up with weapon fire. The space battle was intensifying. They didn't have much time. In orbit, the Defiance rocked as Vordax weapons found their mark. Their shields held, but the Vordax were fighting with desperate intensity. "They're concentrating fire on our command ships," Lisa reported. "They know if they can disrupt our coordination, they have a better chance." Samantha gripped the railing as another blast shook the ship. "Hold position. We need to give Cooper's team time to find that weapon." On the surface, Ryan's team reached the temple. Ancient stone columns surrounded a central platform that seemed ordinary at first glance, but Ryan's instruments detected massive energy signatures beneath it. "This is it," he said. "The entrance should be." The ground suddenly began to shake. A blinding light shot upward from the center of the temple into the sky. "They've activated it," shouted a Centauri team member. "The final protocol is starting." Ryan rushed to the center platform. "Help me find the access point. There has to be a way down." As they searched, the light grew more intense. In space, the Defiance detected a wave of energy spreading from the planet. "Analysis," Samantha demanded. "It's some kind of space-time distortion," replied the science officer. "If it continues to grow at this rate, it will reach neighboring star systems within hours." On the surface, Ryan finally located a hidden panel. It slid open to reveal an ancient elevator shaft. The team descended rapidly into a massive chamber filled with technology that appeared both incredibly advanced and impossibly old. At its center stood a crystal structure pulsing with energy. Vordax technicians worked frantically at control panels surrounding it. They turned in surprise as Ryan's team entered. "Stop them!" shouted the lead Vordax. A brief firefight erupted. When it ended, Ryan approached the crystal carefully. "This is beyond anything I've seen," he said, studying the controls. "It's rewriting the fabric of space-time itself." A Pellerin scientist on his team moved forward. "The principles are similar to our oldest legends, if we reverse the energy flow." Together, they began working on the ancient device. In orbit, the Defiance detected the energy wave beginning to falter. "Something's happening," reported the science officer. "The distortion is becoming unstable." On the surface, Ryan had found the weakness. "It's designed to expand outward, but if we create a feedback loop." He made the final adjustment. The crystal's pulsing changed rhythm, then began to glow brighter. "Everyone out," Ryan shouted. "It's going to implode." The team raced back to their ship as the temple above began to collapse. They lifted off just as the ground gave way beneath them. In space, the Allied fleet pulled back as the energy wave collapsed in on itself, creating a localized distortion that engulfed only the weapon site. 6 months later, Ambassador John Carter stood in the rebuilt council chambers. Representatives from 28 species watched as he was sworn in as the first chairperson of the reformed Galactic Council. "We come together not as rulers and subjects," John said in his address, "but as equals. Humanity did not win this war alone. We all won it together." As the ceremony ended, Admiral Miller approached him. "Not bad for a species that was considered primitive just months ago," she said with a smile. John nodded. "The truth is, we detected the Council's corruption from our very first contact with alien life. Everything since then, every technology we developed, every ship we built, was preparation for this moment. A new beginning," Samantha said, looking out at the representatives of a truly united galaxy. "A better one," John replied. Dr. Kevin Mitchell worked quickly in the secured archives beneath the Council chambers. The battle above had given them access to the most protected secrets of the Galactic Council. As a historian and xenoanthropologist, Kevin had suspected the truth for years. Now he was finding proof. "This goes back thousands of years," he said to the small team working with him. 2 humans and representatives from the Pellerin and Centauri species listened intently as he explained his findings. "The Vordax didn't just manipulate us," Kevin continued, displaying ancient records on a large screen. "They've been engineering conflicts between species since the Council was formed. Look at this." The screen showed records of seemingly natural disasters and wars that had eliminated or weakened dozens of species over thousands of years. Each event had subtle Vordax involvement. "They present themselves as peacekeepers," Kevin explained, "while secretly creating the very conflicts they claim to resolve. Any species that grows too powerful mysteriously faces disaster." The Pellerin representative's fur bristled with anger. "My people lost a colony world 3 centuries ago. We were told it was destroyed by an asteroid impact." Kevin nodded grimly. "According to these records, that asteroid was deliberately redirected by Vordax ships." In the Council chambers above, Ambassador John Carter addressed the emergency session of the Reformed Council. Representatives from 17 species listened as he explained humanity's actions. "Earth's declaration of war was never meant to destroy the Council," John said. "It was a calculated move to force the truth into the open. We knew the founding species would react exactly as they did, with overwhelming force and arrogance." The Centauri representative stood. "You risk your entire species on this gamble. The Vordax might have destroyed your homeworld." John nodded. "We prepared for that possibility. But we also knew that once the evidence was presented, many of you would recognize the truth you've long suspected. The Council was never meant to unite us all as equals. It was designed to control you." As they spoke, Marine Commander Susan Taylor led a team through the lower levels of the Council building. Fighting had broken out as the last Vordax guards tried to prevent access to certain areas. Susan moved carefully, her weapon ready. "The main control center should be just ahead," she told her mixed team of human and alien soldiers. "Remember, we need prisoners, not casualties. The Vordax leadership must stand trial for what they've done." They rounded a corner and found themselves facing a group of heavily armed Vordax guards protecting a sealed door. "This is your only warning," Susan called out. "Surrender now, and you'll be treated fairly under interspecies law." The lead Vordax guard raised his weapon, but hesitated when he saw the united force facing him. Humans fought alongside species that had been enemies just days ago. The galaxy was changing before his eyes. One by one, the guards lowered their weapons. Susan's team secured the door and broke through the security systems. Inside, they found something unexpected. Not Vordax leaders, but a quantum communication device activated and sending data. "They're gone," Susan reported back to command. "But they've sent something to the Vordax homeworld." In orbit, the battle was ending. The Vordax fleet was in retreat, those ships still capable of jump drives disappearing into space. Admiral Samantha Miller received Susan's report with concern. "Find out what they transmitted," she ordered, "and get Dr. Mitchell up there immediately." When Kevin arrived and examined the quantum device, his face grew pale. "This is an activation sequence," he said. "The Vordax homeworld has something called the Final Protocol. According to these ancient texts, it's a weapon system capable of destabilizing space-time throughout the galaxy." The representatives from various species looked at each other in horror. They would destroy everything rather than lose control. The Pelleran representative asked. John Carter's expression hardened. "Then we stopped them. Together." As the combined fleet regrouped, humans working alongside their new allies, a plan began to form. The Vordax had retreated to their homeworld, but the war was far from over. It had merely entered its most dangerous phase. The fate of the galaxy now rested on how quickly this new alliance could move against a desperate enemy with a doomsday weapon. Ambassador John Carter walked back into the Galactic Council chambers 3 days after his declaration of war. This time, the mood was very different. Many seats were empty. Some species representatives had fled back to their homeworlds. Others were busy dealing with the sudden human attacks across council space. John carried a small data cube in his hand. Behind him walked 4 human soldiers, escorting 20 rescued prisoners from Proxima B. Their thin bodies and haunted eyes told the story of their captivity better than any words could. "What is the meaning of this intrusion?" demanded High Speaker Zilax of the Vordax. His blue skin had paled with stress. "You dare return after your unprovoked attack?" John stepped onto the speaking platform. "I return with truth," he said, placing the data cube into the central projector. "And with witnesses." The projector activated, filling the air above the platform with images and text. Council secret directives scrolled past, revealing plans to control and eventually eliminate problematic species. The evidence that Greg Porter's team had recovered from the Vordax Command Center was now visible to all remaining council members. "This is fabricated," Zilax shouted, but his voice lacked conviction. A small, furry Pelleran representative stood up. "Is it? My government has suspected for years that the founding species were hiding things from the rest of us. Is it true that you destroyed the human colony on Proxima B?" John gestured to the survivors behind him. These people were there. They watched their families die. They were imprisoned and forced to work in mines, while the council told us all they had died in a natural disaster. The chamber erupted in angry voices. The Centauri representative, a tall being with iridescent skin, moved to examine the data more closely. "There are plans here for my people, too," the Centauri said, voice trembling. "We were next to be contained." John looked around the chamber. "Humanity did not declare war on all of you. We declared war on a corrupt system. On the 3 founding species that have used this council to maintain their power while pretending to support peace." The Pelleran representative approached John cautiously. "Ambassador, my government wishes to speak with yours. We had no knowledge of these actions." "The Centauri would also speak with Earth," added their representative. One by one, representatives from the newer council species moved away from the founding members. The evidence was too clear to deny. For centuries, the Vordax, Ravani, and Kaleri had manipulated the council for their own benefit, eliminating any species that grew too powerful. Zilax stood abruptly. "This council session is adjourned. These accusations will be addressed through proper channels." "The proper channels are controlled by you," John replied calmly. "That ends today." As Zilax and the other founding species representatives stormed out, John turned to those who remained. "Earth proposes a new beginning. A true alliance of equals." In a secure room nearby, Commander Nicole Bennett of Earth's Diplomatic Security Force met with military leaders from the Pelleran and Centauri. They spread star charts on the table between them. "The Vordax fleet is moving toward your colony here," Nicole explained, pointing to a star system near Earth. "They hope to draw our main forces away from your homeworlds so they can regroup." The Pelleran commander nodded. "Our ships can approach from this direction, while yours come from here. They won't expect us to be working together already. We've prepared a joint communication system," Nicole said, handing small devices to both alien commanders. These bypass council networks entirely. Meanwhile, in the council chambers, John continued speaking with the representatives of species who had been kept under the thumb of the founding members for generations. "We never wanted to fight all of you," he explained, "only to expose the corruption at the heart of this council." A Navari representative, whose insect-like features were difficult for humans to read, leaned forward. "You took a great risk. The founding species could have destroyed your homeworld." John smiled slightly. "Humanity has always been good at taking risks. We're even better at winning against the odds." Outside, through the great windows of the council chamber, they could see ships from many species gathering, not to fight, but to protect this place from the Vordax fleet that would surely come to reclaim it. A new alliance was forming, born from humanity's daring gamble. The space around Centauri Prime lit up with weapons fire. The Vordax fleet had arrived with a single purpose: to reclaim the council headquarters and crush the rebellion before it could spread further. Leading the defense was Captain Jason Murphy aboard the human destroyer Vigilant *. "All ships, maintain formation," Jason ordered, his voice steady despite the chaos unfolding on the view screens. "Remember the plan." The combined fleet defending Centauri Prime was unlike anything the galaxy had seen before. Human vessels flew alongside Pellerin, Centauri, and ships from 4 other species who had abandoned the Council's founding members. What they lacked in coordination, they made up for in determination. "Vordax flagship is moving into firing position," reported Jason's tactical officer. "They're charging their main weapon." The Vordax flagship was massive, 3 times the size of the largest human vessel. At its center was a weapon capable of destroying an entire city from orbit. "Now, Olivia," Jason said into his communicator. Commander Olivia Summers, Earth's brilliant military strategist, had spent the last 24 hours planning this defense. From her position in a command center on Centauri Prime, she activated the strategy that would change the course of the battle. "All ships, execute Pattern Delta," she ordered. The defending fleet suddenly split into 3 distinct groups, moving in what appeared to be random directions. The Vordax commander, confused by the unexpected maneuver, hesitated. That moment of hesitation was all they needed. 20 small, fast ships, a mix of human and Centauri vessels, darted forward, firing precisely at the flagship's weapon ports. The Vordax shields held, but the attack forced them to divert power away from their main weapon. "They're adapting," Olivia observed. "Just as we expected. 3rd wave, move in." Pellerin ships, known for their advanced stealth technology, suddenly appeared behind the Vordax support vessels. Their weapons targeted engines and communication arrays, disabling rather than destroying their targets. On the Vordax flagship, High Commander Zix watched in growing alarm as his carefully planned attack fell apart. "How are they coordinating like this?" he demanded. "These species have never fought together before." His second-in-command had no answer. The truth was that humanity had shared their secure communication technology with their new allies, allowing them to coordinate in ways the Council had always prevented. Back on the Vigilant *, Jason received an urgent message. "Captain, the Vordax flagship is changing course. They're heading directly for the Council building on the surface." Jason understood immediately. "They're going to destroy the Council chambers rather than let it fall into our hands. Lieutenant Garcia, intercept course, maximum speed." Lieutenant Paul Garcia's smaller, faster vessel, the Swift *, broke formation and raced toward the Vordax flagship. His crew looked at him with determination as he explained the situation. "They're going to fire on the planet," Paul said grimly. "Our shields can't take a direct hit from their main weapon, but we can block their targeting systems long enough for the others to stop them." "Sir," his navigator said quietly, "that means putting ourselves directly between them and the planet." Paul nodded. "That's exactly what it means." The Swift * accelerated, pushing its engines beyond safety limits. It shot forward, positioning itself directly in the Vordax flagship's path. On Centauri Prime, in the council chambers, representatives from a dozen species watched the battle unfold on large view screens. Ambassador John Carter stood beside the Pellerin and Centauri representatives as they witnessed humanity's willingness to sacrifice for their new allies. "You're Lieutenant Garcia," said the Pellerin representative. "He knows what will happen to his ship." John nodded solemnly. "He knows." The Vordax flagship fired its main weapon. The beam struck the Swift Asterisk directly. For a moment, the small ship's experimental shields held, glowing bright blue against the assault. Then, in a blinding flash, the shields failed. But the Swift Asterisk had bought precious time. From 3 directions, human and allied ships converged on the Vordax flagship. Their coordinated attack overwhelmed its defenses, disabling its main weapon and engines. On the surface, Marine Commander Susan Taylor led a mixed force of humans and allies as they secured the council building. The real fight for the future of galactic governance was about to begin on the ground. Above them, the space battle began to turn decisively in favor of the new alliance. Captain Lisa Reyes stood on the bridge of the flagship Defiance Asterisk. Around her, crew members worked at their stations with practiced efficiency. The ship hummed with power as the new quantum jump drive prepared to activate. "All systems ready, Captain," reported her first officer, Commander Steve Mason. "The fleet is in position." Lisa nodded. Her fleet of 30 ships represented the best technology humanity had developed in secret. While showing the Council outdated vessels for years, Earth had been building these advanced warships hidden within the asteroid belt. "Commence jump countdown," she ordered. "Remind all ships. This is a precision operation. We disable, not destroy. We're here for justice, not vengeance." The jump coordinator began the countdown. "Jump in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Execute." Lisa felt a brief moment of disorientation as the Defiance Asterisk and its fleet disappeared from Earth's solar system. In an instant, they reappeared in orbit around Proxima b. 6 other human fleets were jumping simultaneously to different council locations across the galaxy. "Status report," Lisa demanded as soon as the jump completed. "All ships present and accounted for," Steve replied. "Council defense station detected ahead. They're just now registering our presence." The main screen showed a large, ring-shaped station orbiting Proxima b. Red lights began flashing along its surface as it detected the sudden arrival of the human fleet. "They're raising shields and powering weapons," reported the tactical officer. "Target their communication array and weapon systems only," Lisa ordered. "Fire when ready." The Defiance Asterisk fired a series of precise energy beams. Instead of exploding against the station's shields as Council technology would have, these beams passed right through them and disabled the targeted systems. "How is this possible?" Lisa heard one of the Council officers exclaim over the open communication channel before it went silent. "Launch dropships," Lisa ordered. "Secure the station and locate any human survivors." While most ships maintained position in orbit, 5 smaller vessels detached and headed toward the station. Leading the boarding party was Dr. Alan Wright, the xenobiologist who had first discovered evidence of the Council's true actions on Proxima b. "Captain," called the sensor officer, "I'm detecting human life signs on the planet's surface. Approximately 200 individuals in what appears to be a detention facility near the mining operation." Lisa leaned forward in her chair. "They told us everyone died in a natural disaster. They're holding survivors as prisoners." She opened a channel to the dropships. "Dr. Wright, change of plans. Team Alpha continues to the station. Team Beta, head to these coordinates on the planet's surface. We have human prisoners to rescue." On the main screen, Lisa watched as more Council ships began to appear at the edge of the system, responding to emergency signals that had gone out before they disabled the communication array. "Incoming message from Fleet Admiral Miller, Captain," reported the communications officer. Samantha's face appeared on a side screen. "Status report, Captain Reyes. Operation proceeding as planned, Admiral, Lisa replied. Station defenses neutralized. But we've discovered human survivors being held prisoner on the surface. We're moving to extract them now. Samantha's expression hardened. This confirms our worst fears. The Council has been lying about everything. Get those people out of there. Yes, Admiral. What about the Council reinforcements arriving? Let them come, Samantha said. It's time they learn what humanity is truly capable of when provoked. But remember our rules of engagement. Disable, don't destroy. We need to be better than they were. As the communication ended, Lisa turned to her tactical officer. Prepare to intercept those Council ships. Use the shield penetrators to disable their engines and weapons only. The bridge crew worked with calm determination as the Defiance turned to face the incoming threat. The Council had always seen humans as primitive and weak. Today they would learn how gravely they had underestimated humanity's resolve and ingenuity. On the planet below, the rescue team landed near the detention facility, ready to free the survivors of a massacre the galaxy had been told never happened. High Commander Zix of the Vordax slammed all four of his fists onto the table. The emergency meeting chamber of the Council Defense Fleet shook with his rage. How is this possible? He demanded. Humans were nothing. Their technology was generations behind ours. The commanders of other Council species looked at the reports in stunned silence. Human fleets had appeared simultaneously at 7 critical locations across Council space. The Council's most secure communication network was down. 3 defense stations were disabled. And most concerning of all, humans had reached Proxima B, where the Council's darkest secret lay hidden. The humans must have been hiding their true capabilities for decades, said Subcommander Rel of the Pellerin species. His furry face showed genuine concern. They fooled all our intelligence assessments. Zix narrowed his 6 eyes. No primitive species should be able to bypass our jump gate network. It's impossible. Clearly not impossible, Rel replied quietly. Perhaps we have underestimated them. Enough, Zix shouted. Deploy the Unified Defense Fleet. Destroy every human ship. They have broken Council law by declaring war. We will make an example of them. Across Council space, massive warships began to move. The Council's military had not faced a serious challenge in centuries, but they still maintained the largest fleet in the galaxy. Meanwhile, Officer Greg Porter led his special operations team through the ventilation system of the Vordax Command Center. 6 humans in stealth suits moved silently above the halls where alien commanders rushed to battle stations. This way, Greg whispered, checking his holographic map. The central data core should be just ahead. The team had jumped into the heart of Vordax space, using the same technology that had shocked the Council. Their mission was critical: retrieve evidence of the Council's true plans before it could be deleted. They reached a sealed door protected by energy fields and complex locks. Can you get through it? Greg asked his tech specialist, Maria Hernandez. Maria studied the security system and nodded. Their technology is advanced, but predictable. Give me 3 minutes. While she worked, Greg's team set up a perimeter. Below them, they could hear Vordax soldiers rushing through the halls. They're mobilizing everything they have, reported his second-in-command. The Council is taking this seriously now. Maria's fingers moved quickly over her portable computer. I'm in, she said finally. Downloading their secure communications now. The data streamed into their secure device. Years of private Council messages, secret directives, plans for dealing with problem species, including humans. Look at this, Maria said, her voice tight with anger. They have plans to eliminate 3 other species besides humans. The Navari, the Durelians, and the Centauri, all newer members of the Council. Greg looked at the files. The founding species, the Vordax, the Mravani, and the Kilari. They've been using the Council as a front for their own power. They eliminate any species that might threaten their control. A loud alarm began to sound throughout the facility. They've detected our presence, Greg said. We need to move. Do we have everything? Maria nodded, securing the data device. Complete download. This will expose everything. As they prepared to retreat, Greg caught sight of another file on the screen. Wait, what's that? Maria opened it quickly. It's their battle plans. They're sending their main fleet to Earth. They plan to make an example of humanity by destroying our homeworld. Greg's face hardened. Not if we can help it. Download that too, then set the charges. We're leaving the Vordax a message of our own. As the Special Operations Team made their escape, the first battles between human and Council forces were already underway. The Council ships, confident in their superior technology, were shocked when their weapons had minimal effect on human shields. Even more shocking, human weapons seemed specifically designed to bypass Council defenses. In orbit around a Council fortress world, a Vordax commander watched in disbelief as his flagship systems failed one by one. How? He demanded. How do they know all our weaknesses? The answer was simple. Humanity had been planning this war for years, studying every aspect of Council technology, while showing only their oldest, most primitive ships to Council observers. The age of Council dominance was ending. The galaxy was about to change forever. Ambassador John Carter adjusted his formal uniform as the transport pod slowed. The gleaming spires of the Galactic Council headquarters loomed ahead, catching the light of the twin suns of Centauri Prime. He took a deep breath, steadying himself for what was about to happen. The Council chambers were massive. 24 alien species had representatives seated in rising tiers around a central speaking platform. The air buzzed with translation devices and the strange mix of scents from so many different beings in one place. John walked with purpose toward the center of the chamber. Guards from the Vordax species, tall blue-skinned beings with 4 arms, watched him closely. Humans were new to the galactic stage, only gaining membership to the Council 50 years ago. They were still seen as primitive newcomers by most species. The Council recognizes the human representative, announced High Speaker Zulax, the eldest of the Vordax. His voice boomed through the chamber. You may address the gathering, though you were not scheduled to speak today. John nodded, his face showing no emotion. He stepped onto the speaking platform, feeling the subtle hum as the translation field activated around him. Honorable representatives of the Galactic Council, he began, his voice clear and firm. I come before you today with a message from Earth. The various aliens shifted in their seats. Some leaned forward, while others seemed barely interested. The Mrivani representative, looking like a giant praying mantis, clicked its mandibles impatiently. Earth has considered its place in galactic affairs carefully. John continued. We have observed the workings of this council. We have studied your decisions. We have evaluated your treatment of newer species. The Vordax representative narrowed his 6 eyes. Something in the human's tone had caught his attention. And so, John said, pausing for just a moment, by unanimous vote of Earth's united government, I am instructed to inform you that as of this moment, Earth declares war on the Galactic Council. The chamber erupted. Some representatives jumped to their feet, while others shouted in their native languages, overwhelming translation devices. The Kilari delegate, a gaseous being contained in a floating sphere, turned bright red with agitation. This is absurd, shouted the Vordax High Speaker. Humans have no significant military presence. Your ships are primitive. Your weapons are generations behind Council technology. John stood calmly in the center of the chaos. Our declaration stands. Earth will no longer recognize the authority of this council. We will no longer abide by its rulings or treaties. The Pellerin representative, a small furred creature with large eyes, stepped forward. Ambassador Carter, surely there is some misunderstanding. What grievance does Earth have that would warrant such an extreme action? John looked directly at the Vordax High Speaker. Earth has no misunderstandings. Earth has evidence, and Earth has had enough. With that, he turned and walked toward the exit. Council security moved to block his path, but the Vordax High Speaker held up one of his 4 hands. Let him go, he said. This meaningless gesture will be addressed later. As John left the chamber, the shouting continued behind him. He maintained his composure until he reached his private transport. Once inside, he activated his secure communication device. "It's done," he said simply. Admiral Samantha Miller's voice came through clearly. Any immediate response? "Exactly as we predicted." Confusion, disbelief, some amusement. "The Vordax think it's a joke." "Good," said Samantha. "Phase 1 complete. Return to Earth immediately. By the time they realize this isn't a joke, it will be too late." John looked out at the sprawling Council City. For centuries, it had been the center of galactic power. By this time tomorrow, everything would change. "Understood," he replied. "Carter out." His transport lifted off, heading for the jump gate that would take him back to Earth. Behind him, the Council continued to debate the meaning of humanity's unexpected declaration, unaware that human warships were already moving into position throughout the galaxy. Fleet Admiral Samantha Miller stood at the main viewing window of Earth's orbital command station. Below her, the blue planet spun peacefully, its surface dotted with lights from cities. But her attention was on the massive shipyards, hidden in Earth's shadow, invisible to any passing alien vessels. "Status report," she said to the officers behind her. "All ships are at 98% readiness." "Admiral," replied Captain Frank Winters. "The last weapon systems are being installed on the 4th Fleet now." Samantha nodded. For 10 years, Earth had been building in secret, while showing old, outdated ships to Council inspectors. Humanity had been constructing a true war fleet in hidden facilities throughout the solar system. "And the jump drives?" she asked. Lieutenant Eric Daniel stepped forward with a tablet. He was young for his position, but his genius with quantum physics had made him invaluable to the program. "The final tests were successful," Eric said. "All ships can now jump without using the Council Gateway Network. We can appear anywhere in the galaxy with no warning." This was humanity's greatest advantage. The Council controlled all travel through their network of jump gates. No species could move between star systems without Council permission. At least that's what they believed. "Show me the colony footage again," Samantha ordered. A large screen lit up on the wall. The images showed a peaceful human settlement on Proxima b, the closest habitable planet to Earth. Families walked on streets. Children played in parks. Then the footage changed. Council ships appeared in the sky. Weapons fired. Buildings collapsed. The final images showed Council mining machines digging into the planet's surface where the colony once stood. 3 years, Samantha said quietly. 3 years since they wiped out 30,000 of our people for access to rare minerals. And they thought we didn't know. The Council had reported that the colony was destroyed by a natural disaster. They had offered condolences and aid, all while their mining operations stripped the planet of resources that should have belonged to humanity. "The Council has always underestimated us," said Commander Peter Walsh, head of intelligence. "They think because we're new to space travel, we're naive. They don't realize we've been monitoring their communications since first contact." Peter touched his tablet, bringing up the evidence they had gathered over decades. Secret Council directives classifying humans as potentially disruptive and recommending containment strategies. Plans to limit Earth's expansion. Discussions about keeping humanity technologically dependent on Council systems. "Ambassador Carter should be leaving Council space now," Peter added. "Once he's clear, we can begin." Samantha turned to face her officers. "Humanity tried to join their community in good faith. We followed their rules. We trusted their leadership. And in return, they murdered our people and planned to keep us as second-class citizens forever." She walked to the command table and pressed her hand on the surface. A 3-dimensional map of the galaxy appeared, with key Council facilities highlighted in red. "We strike simultaneously at these 7 locations," she said. "Captain Lisa Rice will lead the main fleet to Proxima b to secure any evidence that remains and free any human prisoners. The secondary fleets will disable the Council's primary communication hubs and defensive outposts. The officers nodded. They had rehearsed this plan hundreds of times. What about civilians? Asked Dr. Alan Wright, the fleet's chief medical officer. We avoid all civilian casualties, Samantha said firmly. This is not revenge. This is justice and freedom. We target military and government facilities only. A soft chime sounded from the communications officer's station. Admiral, we've received the signal. Ambassador Carter has reached safe space. Samantha took a deep breath and looked once more at the image of Earth below. For centuries, humans had dreamed of joining a peaceful galactic community. Instead, they had found corruption and betrayal. Now it was time to build something better. Send the order, she said. All ships, commence Operation Truth. Throughout the solar system, hidden doors opened in asteroids and moonbases. Hundreds of ships, advanced beyond anything the Council had seen, moved into position. The war that would change the galaxy had begun.